Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, welcome to New Life Live. So glad that you're with us here today. And today we have 4 people on radio. Usually we have 3, but we're expecting some big problems today. So we've got, if you think, man, this is huge, my problem's huge. Today's the day you call us at 1-800-229-3000 because we've got 4 people. Those 4 people are Chris Williams. Hello, Chris.
Hey, good to be here. Hey, I'm going to bring some big problems today, all right?
All right.
You are a big problem.
Right. You have been in the past. And then Dr. Alice Benton is with us.
Hi,
Alice. How are you?
Well, I just got to give a quick props to parents of young kids because, folks, I've got a lot of tools. I got a lot of strategies. This has been a highly emotional week for me and my young kids, and we're handling it, but sometimes it takes all I've got. So keep it up, you parents listening. We can do this.
Yeah. Well, the question would be, do we pray for you or your kids? That would be the
kids.
Yeah.
So they can survive me.
Their safety.
Yes.
And then Becky Brown sitting right next to me.
Pause.
You could figure that out if you tuned in on Facebook or New Life Live over on our YouTube channel. You could look at it there. But if you want to join us, it's 1-800-229-3000. That is our phone number. You know, Becky co-wrote the book, Understanding and Loving a Person with Bipolar Disorder. I think that's one of the most frustrating things for a family member to deal with because it just happens over and over again. The person with bipolar can be totally regulated with medication, but they so miss that manic phase that they quit taking the medication or for whatever reason. It's hard for them to stay on the medication.
Well, and I think the hope always in those relationships is that the person will see that they need help and that they can get help, only to find out that they want to do it a different way.
Yeah.
And so it's like a roller coaster for those that are in relationship with them. And, we wrote the book so that people who are in those relationships have an understanding of that bipolar and all the different facets, but also how do you have boundaries? How do you take care of yourself? How do you not get on that roller coaster with the person and try to maintain some sort of level experience in that relationship? And sometimes it's so very difficult. It
is. And we pray that the person would be healed or get better, but really another prayer is that God would use this to transform us, to help us grow in patience and kindness, which is very, very difficult. Anyway, it's one of the books in the Arterburn Wellness series, Understanding and Loving a Person With, and we've got narcissistic personality disorder, alcohol and drug addiction, sex addiction, bipolar, so many different books there, 8 different books, and it's our gift to anybody that joins Club New Life, a whole little library on helping other people. Love for you to have that. You can get it by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE to join Club New Life.
And if you're part of Club New Life, you are part of a family that helps so many people find hope and help in their struggles. And you support everything that we do here at the ministry to get the word out, to get the resources out, to have the phones answered, when people need help.
Well, it's just a wonderful thing that has sustained us. It's kind of the foundation of everything we do. A few people giving a little bit becomes an awful lot. That's important to us. If you want to join us, here's the number, 1-800-229-3000. That's it. And we'd love to talk with you. We'll be in the studio, all 4 of us, for 2 hours. And I hope and pray that something we say might inspire you. If you call us, we're going to do our very best to give you the best sound, biblically based advice you could get anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C., July 23rd to the 25th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group counselors will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. The reason we're here, we want to take your question. We're going to go right to our first caller. Have several lined up. You can call us 1-800-229-3000. I do not know. How would you pronounce?
Giovanni.
Giovanni. All right. Sacramento, California. KFIA is the station. Hi, Giovanni. How are you today?
Good. How about you?
Great. How can we help you?
All right. So I actually called a couple months ago. I called about me and my wife got separated, and Alice and I believe Becky gave me some advice to, talk to her and just tell her to own up for everything I did and stop looking for excuses. Well, I ended up doing that like maybe a month ago, and we talked for a little bit and whatnot, and she was totally surprised that I did all that stuff, and so I've been trying to pursue her and just kind of show her like, hey, I'm a different person than the person that you left and whatnot. But every time I try to talk to her, she's always like super short. So if I try to meet in person, she'll pretty much kind of tell me no, or like it'll be like a minute or two, and then she'll try to leave. But last weekend I actually saw her because she came to pick up our dog, and we were talking, and she just I asked her kind of like where she was at and kind of how she felt and whatnot, and about like the relationship or the marriage. And she just said that she doesn't know, and that at the moment she doesn't really consider coming back. It's not even in her mind, because her words were, I'm a hopeless romantic, and I'm just scared to love. And she was just like, well, if maybe in like 10 years we rekindle and it ends up working out or whatnot, then we can go from there. And it's like,
okay.
So my counselor, I go to a Christian counselor. She told me to pursue her, and that's what I've been trying to do. But every time I try, it's just like, it's little stuff like, hey, how are you doing? Like,
Giovanni.
On my mind today.
Giovanni. Sorry to interrupt. I think we get the picture here. What did you have to confess to her?
So when I used to kind of like try to, I guess, justify all the stuff that I would do.
Like what?
And so for example, there'd be times where I'd get home and like the house would be dirty and she'd be like off or not doing anything all day, and I'd just be like, hey, like you didn't do anything around the house. Like I get home tired, I work full time, and I still got to commute. And it's like I got to kind of pick up the slack here and whatnot. And, she'd just be like, oh, I was just in bed on my phone or whatever all day.
Okay.
So
all right. But there was no, we're not talking about adultery, pornography, nothing like that, right?
No, nothing.
Okay.
It was just arguments, really.
And so you were critical of her and made her feel bad about herself. Was that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess there was also problems we had with one of the friends that she had, and then with her family, where pretty much she wanted me to go up to her family and stand up for myself because, they treated me a certain type of way, and I told her, like, I'm not going to do that. That's not, my immediate family. That's something I feel like you should do.
Got it. Okay. So, since that time, you're getting counseling from a Christian counselor, right?
Yes.
Okay. And anything else you're doing other than the counseling once a week? Just trying to get the picture here.
Yeah, so doing the counseling, I go to church. I got myself involved in a ministry as well. And then you guys, last time I called, sent me the book How to Love or How We Love.
How We Love, yeah.
So I've been reading on that. Yeah, I've been reading that.
All right, so I'm just trying to help us get the picture so we can help you go to the next level. Why don't we start with you, Dr. Alice Benton? When you're hearing this, therapist saying pursue her, but she's really not responding to that in a positive way.
Giovanni, I am very proud of you that you followed up on our advice and you made that confession. That was crucial that you did that. Given her recent statement to you that maybe 10 years but no plan to return to you, does that change your strategy and will that change your approach to her?
That's my thing. Like I don't know. I pray about her all the time, and instead of praying for her to come back, I just pray for her to have a relationship with God, and I don't know if I should just kind of like love at a distance and stop like hitting her up and talking to her, or
has she asked you to back off?
No.
Because she hasn't asked for that, my hope is that you'll take what she has said to you and you will double down on your work on your character. I'm going to point out that we gave you that advice several months ago, and you waited until 1 month ago to bring it to her. You brought it to her, which is the important piece, but you did wait. I think there is hesitation in you, and because there was such a long period of you being argumentative and critical, she probably can't trust that confession is the real you yet. And so I want you to be determined and to persevere unless she tells you to back off, so that you can give her more evidence and more proof that the work you're doing in therapy is changing your character.
And can I add one thing? Giovanni, I would like your conversations with her to be more than just about you two getting back together. When you describe your previous relationship, there was this disconnect, with what her day entailed, and then even how she and you were going to do life together. And I think that if you can work on getting to know her, which sounds really weird because you're married and all that kind of thing, as opposed to we need to get back together, I think you're going to create a better, healthier relationship and better connection if you guys do work this out. But, and then I would just invite her from time to time to speak into your life. What do you see? It's something we talk about all the time, is that you can't convince anybody, of who you are. They just watch and see your behavior and see your character change, like you were talking about, Alice.
Chris, anything you want to add here?
Yeah, so Giovanni, it also sounds like your wife is struggling with depression. And towards you with your critique of that. Now, you weren't critiquing the depression; you were critiquing the behavior of it, how it showed up. But what has happened is she's probably already dealing with a lot of internal sense of shame and even helplessness, and her heart has gone cold and dark, at least towards you. And so, I want you to recognize that is going to take a while to warm back up and light back up. And as the best way to do that is, the best hope for that is, to echo what Becky was saying, is to get to know her. Be true. Now, could be really challenging and frustrating because she may only give you one-word answers because she doesn't trust that you'll be kind and understanding to her condition. Mm-hmm. And so really being empathetic towards her and her struggle. But I think that you also have to live in this relationship. You can be truthful too, and being like, hey, I would love for you to be able to get some help, not from a place of there's something that blame for what's wrong in the relationship, but truly out of concern of you want the best for her and you want health for her.
So a couple of things. I love everything that's been said, Giovanni. I'm going to send you the book, Understanding and Loving a Person with Depression. But here's a radical idea for you. Honey, I have just been talking about wanting us to get back together, and I've heard you say that, 10 years maybe. And I would just like to ask you, what is it that I could do that would help our situation? I can continue to call, and I can give you space. What do you think would be the most helpful thing for us? Because I love you, I care about you, and here's a little message you might want to give her. And if it takes 10 years to win your heart, I'm going to be here. Now that's a very difficult message to ignore if you're a woman or a man either. Very difficult versus what we tend to do. Look, I'm going to give you a year. You either work this thing out in your head and I'm out of here. But if you were to say to her, I am committed to you, I want to watch you get better, and rather than trying to help you figure out why it was that things were the way they were, I was so critical, and I just hate the fact that I was, but I'm here. What do you want me to do? What would make things better for you? Might be a good thing to do. Now I'm going to send you. Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things that's every time I try to, I've asked her out for coffee or whatnot, and at first she said yes, and then a couple days later she told me she pretty much canceled, and she says that she's not really ready to meet in person or and then she said that she straight up told me last week, and she's like, I see you act different. She's like, I know your character is different in the way you are. It gives me anxiety because I expect to talk to you or whatever, and you go back to your old ways, but you don't. And she was just like, and all that gives me anxiety, and it's just like, I'm doing fine, and then I talk to you, and then I get anxious, and and she does see a therapist, but she sees him once a month. So
maybe it's ask her what it is when we're together that makes you anxious, and try not to do whatever it is that she identifies.
Well, I wonder too, Giovanni, if this isn't an intimacy thing for her. If she's struggling with depression or an anxiety disorder, and you guys have had this experience, to come back into relationship, she's going to have to overcome some hurdles on her own. Yep. And so you're going to have to be patient. But also, you know what? When she says something like that, instead of you becoming defensive or kind of I can't believe this, I'm doing the right thing, and she still doesn't like it, you say something along the line of, wow, tell me more about that. And that becomes a conversation starter.
Yeah. All right. So I'm really glad you called. Maybe you can check back again and tell us how things are going. But really, I think if she doesn't get good help for that depression, man, that's going to be tough. And I just think there's more to winning her heart than just pursuit. Sometimes the greatest pursuit is restraint and care and kindness. I'll send you Understanding and Loving a Person with Depression. Let's go to Laura, Dallas, Texas, Sirius XM satellite radio. That's where she listens. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for taking my call. I have a situation where I've unfortunately become aware of a friend of mine is having an affair with her best friend's husband. And I've cut that relationship off, but it keeps, because I can't bear to watch her be fake to her quote-unquote best friend. But it keeps weighing on my heart that I am judging too much. And the parable of Jesus saying, anyone who hasn't sinned, go ahead and throw the first stone at this woman. And it's just heavy on my heart on how to handle it.
Well, now, Jesus, let's just be really clear here. Jesus wasn't talking to a bunch of believers, right? And I'm not saying if you're a believer, you can go ahead and stone somebody. But I am saying it's important to understand context of everything. And we are very, very clearly not to judge people that are non-believers. They're just doing what they're doing. But when it comes to believers, Scripture says don't even have anything to do with them. But there's another, the music says we're going to go to a break, but there's another option I want you to consider here, and we'll talk about that after the break. You're listening to New Life Live, 1-800-229-3000. 1-800-229-3000 to join us on the program. We'd love to have you, and we'll have Larry Sonnenberg in later to talk about our matching gift. But really, today is a great day to consider, just like we're asking everybody, what am I doing that might be not so helpful in a relationship? What am I doing that could be helpful? Maybe I need to ask, is there anything I can do to make our relationship better? Maybe that's it. I don't know. We'll talk after we get back. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. A lot of people are you could literally say, in bondage from past trauma that has created an emotional web that they don't understand, and it prevents them from being free. A person that loses their temper regularly is not emotionally free. Someone who has anxiety just to get in the car and leave the house is not emotionally free. And walking around with the shame from a childhood or even a bad relationship as an adult, that is not emotional freedom, and we can help you get there.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, August 14th. Steve Arterburn and Chris Williams will present information on the power of our emotions, procrastination, guilt and shame, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or register online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the 8 books in the Arterburn Wellness Series, including Understanding and Loving a Person with Bipolar Disorder and Understanding and Loving a Person with Narcissistic Personality Disorder. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and difficult situation we're talking about here. Laura's best friend, or she's aware that this friend is having an affair with her supposedly best friend's husband. Laura, we talked about this at the break, and the thought is that if you just let this go and walk away from her, you're kind of enabling her to continue this secret, horrific affair. And Becky had the thought here that you would go to this woman and say, I am going to give you a couple of days to reveal that you're having an affair with this woman's husband. After that, I'm going to do it myself. Because I know about it. You'd say, I know about the affair.
Well, the idea,
and I have
Laura,
to do something about it.
Right. The idea, Laura, is that when it all comes out, they're going to know that you knew, and you're feeling all of this heaviness because you're keeping a secret with all of them. But I don't know if how you left that relationship.
She and I had a conversation, and the affair went on for about 1.5 years, and she tried to tell me it's not happening anymore. And but those two families, and they have young children, vacation together. They do every Friday night pizza together. So I have contemplated what you all are suggesting. However, then there's a part of me that I don't want to be a part of ripping families apart and what it would do to the children. I'm not talking about ripping those two families apart, but what it would do to all of their
Laura,
children.
let me jump in. There's another Jesus principle, okay? If your husband was cheating on you with your best friend, would you want to know that information?
Yes, and I've thought about that
Okay,
too.
so when Jesus says, do unto others as you would want them to do unto you, I believe that we have a higher Jesus standard here.
You revealing this information might give the hope, actually, of something being salvaged, because the longer this goes on in secret, the more it is deteriorating, and there's a facade over it, but this is killing these families, and it will be worse the longer it goes on. So revealing it can actually be part of the solution. The families may still break up. There's so much wreckage that's taking place here under the surface. There's a very sobering verse in Ezekiel 3:18 that if we know evil is taking place and we do not speak up, we are held partially responsible for that evil because we didn't say anything. Woo! That's a high standard we're called to.
I don't know many things more humiliating than being the quote-unquote the chump. Discovering that everybody around me, these two people knew this, and I didn't. And every time we went over to their house, they were thinking about this and didn't. I was the one that didn't know about it. I don't think you can know this and unknow it or not do anything about it. Now, let me tell you how many times friends like this have had affairs. They stop the affair, and then both of them go on to have the most amazing marriages separate. Never, because there's this big secret that's there. And so it must be dealt with. I mean, literally, the truth needs to be known, and there are a lot of reasons that it does, but I'll tell you, I would be so bugged at you if I knew that you knew, and you knew we were together all these times. Quite frankly, I don't know that it's good for them to be best friends and to be having pizza every week with those folks. I don't know that that's a healthy situation anymore.
Well, and I think there's two things.
Well, I agree with that, and that's why we backed away. We don't hang out with them anymore because they still continue to live that facade. So we don't. It's broken a lot,
So, Laura, I think there's two things I want to just add to this, and they are very particular to you. You are carrying the burden, and it's not yours to carry. It's yours to basically discard. But the only way to discard that burden is to reveal it. The other aspect of it is you said, I don't want to be responsible for two families getting broken up. You're not. The people who had the affair are the responsible parties. The truth teller is just that, the truth teller. So Nathan was not responsible for the consequences of David's murder and infidelity. Right? David was. Nathan just revealed it.
Right. And Laura, it's not going to be easy, but just like Steve said, the only way forward is to get some truth into the picture. And you're going to feel better after you're not carrying this anymore. And the people who are involved are going to take responsibility and do something. We don't know what that will be, but and also offer grace. It's not like you're going to be, because I think you were concerned about how you come across, but they're in a trap. They don't see it yet, but that's what they're in right now.
I hope that's helpful to you.
Time.
Yep.
It is.
And let me send you Take Your Life Back. I think it is a book that might help you understand the difference in letting somebody else make all these decisions and then you becoming the decider. I am going to do the next right thing because I'm going to suffer. They're going to suffer if I don't. I'm so sorry that this has happened. Maybe somebody is in a similar situation, and it's time to come clean and let people know I'm in trouble. I want out. That's the way to go.
of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. It's always tough to do the next right thing in situations like that. And we have all sorts of ways that we say, well, what about this and that? Don't let any excuse keep you from doing the right thing. Here's a guy that has not made one excuse the entire time I've known him. Larry Sonnenberg's in the studio. Larry, how are you?
I don't make excuses. I just confess. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, Steve,
well, yeah.
We have this matching gift going, and that this will be matched in the next 2 weeks. I'm very, very confident. And we were talking a little while ago, you and I, before radio, and thought maybe we should tell a story. I should tell a story of somebody whose life was affected and they became generous givers. Well, the problem wasn't picking one. The problem was picking which one. There were so many things that came to my mind. Let me tell one, maybe I can get another one in. Maybe you have something. You know, the largest gift that New Life received last year came after a couple attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop.
Mm-hmm.
The husband had been unfaithful. The wife has listened to our program for many years. I don't know all the dynamics. I don't think he was eager to go to that workshop, but I think he kind of swallowed and said, I better do this. They came, combination of what happened in the main sessions and what happened in their group. The Holy Spirit did a work, and something clicked and changed, and their marriage has changed. Mm-hmm. And not only did they make the largest gift to New Life last year, they challenged an organization to match it, and that organization did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's changed New Life financially. And I want to encourage folks, if your life has been touched, you know, often I'll come on and just focus on the new givers at the Club New Life people, but I just want to focus this morning, today, on if your life has been touched and you have the ability to give back. And it doesn't have to be the largest gift that ever comes to New Life. Mm-hmm. It might be $50. It might be $100. It might be $20. But give back, and you'll change because you gave.
Well, and you know, that makes me think where the seed money for the match came from. It came from people whose lives had been changed
yes, it did.
by New Life, and they wanted to do this. And I just think that's the biggest story.
Well, you know, if a ministry wanted to know if they're really helping anybody on radio or what they're doing, they might have to do Survey Monkey or something. And the proof we have is people that come to our workshops step up and support what we're doing so other people can experience it. And we're so thrilled when that happens, and we're so happy to be part of their story, the redemptive story that God's doing in their life. And from what I hear and what I experienced myself, it's a different perspective when you're giving and you hear these people change. You really believe part of their change was a result of my gift. And that's what I think you will love when you hear people being helped, that you were part of it. And so please help us in any way you can.
And Steve, it's not only the folks that come to the workshop. I can tell you a couple cases where this man said he had struggled with relationships always. He discovered he had an intimacy problem. So he bought How We Love because he listens to our radio program. And he studied and read and practiced what he learned there. And a couple of years go by, and last year he got married.
And there you go.
I mean, that's how much better does it get than that? A lady whose mom was always critical, and she didn't have any emotion. She didn't know what emotions were. And through our radio program, through connection with our staff, she learned how to share her emotions and feel again. And she's become an incredibly generous giver.
Isn't that amazing?
The man that I said just got married, he's a Club New Life member, very generously so. So there's so much more.
Yeah. Please help us if you can. That phone number, 1-800-NEW-LIFE, a gift of any amount. We will send you Dr. Dave Stoops' book, You Are What You Think, our gift to you. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, and thank you everybody who's given.
Yes, we're going to go back to the phones, and we're going to go right over here and talk with Beth from Charlotte, North Carolina, listening, Sirius XM Satellite Radio. Hi, Beth. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. My question is this. I've been married for 19 years, and throughout that 19 years, my husband has had a series of relationships that are inappropriate with other women. I have always been able to intervene in some way. I would find out about it. I would address that woman and say, knock it off, whatever, or I would address it with him. I always addressed it with him. He's always very apologetic, assures me nothing happens, showers me with love, typically buys me a gift, and promises that will never happen again. The third or fourth time I caught him, it was a relationship that had gone on for several years, and it was indeed a sexual relationship. That he did admit to. The others, he doesn't admit to that. Most recently, he has resurrected an old relationship. The reason this one is different is this particular female is a white-collar professional. She is divorced, and she's so the others have all been married. And I had that, I'm going to call your husband if you don't knock it off threat that I could use to pull the woman away from my husband. And this, I don't have any ammunition to use against her to say, you had better get away. And so I just have to rely on him. He wanted to go see her this past weekend, and so I said I don't want to go, and he said, well, I can't go if you don't go, and she's just an old friend, and I really want to see her. And I knew exactly what I was getting into. I knew that I was the alibi so that he could see this woman, and if his wife was along, then surely nothing was happening between them.
Beth.
But it was very evident that it was.
Beth.
Hold on. Alice wants to talk to you here.
Why do you keep choosing to tolerate a man who is willing to do this to you over and over again?
Because I want this relationship to work, and because we have a child.
How old is your child?
16.
This relationship is not working, and your husband is continuing to choose various levels of infidelity.
Well, it's also, he just simply can't be trusted. The reason I caught the relationship that went on for 3 years was because I could see his text messages on his iPad.
Beth, you are teaching your 16-year-old to tolerate, to put up with this, and to continue to take more.
He doesn't know.
Beth,
he doesn't know.
Beth, I'm so sorry.
I can promise you, nobody knows but him. Nobody knows but he and I.
Beth, I'm so sorry that this has been your battle for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you are trying to control the situation, and really the women aren't the problem, and you're fighting that battle. And what I want you to do is I want you to be able to fight for your own self. And it's very complex, and I think that there's a lot of what's going on that you're in a cycle where, you know, he's going to keep doing this and you're going to keep fighting for this. I'm kind of curious, what have you done besides confront these women and your husband to deal with this disconnection in the relationship? And I don't mean that. Okay, and I don't mean, I want you to hear me when I say I'm not accusing you. This is hard. And I hate that you're in the middle of this.
Well, you know what?
I hate that.
You know what it reminds me of? So, Beth, what you're doing is if your husband had a severe drinking problem, and what you're trying to do is pour out all the alcohol in the home, and he keeps going to the liquor store. And he was like, man, if I can just catch him and I can pour out all the liquor in the house, all the alcohol, then he will stop. But doggone it, he just keeps going back to the liquor store. And so you're trying to control the uncontrollable, and as a result, you are out of control.
Yeah. Hey, Beth, I am so glad you called us. And I'm wondering if this matters to you. You've chosen a strategy to keep the marriage together and preserve something for your 16-year-old child. I don't know of any professional who's helping people, whether they're a pastoral counselor, PhD psychologist. I don't know of anybody who would tell you that's a really good strategy, or would tell you stick with that strategy long enough and you're going to have a better outcome. I don't know of anyone. Now, I don't know if that matters to you, but if you could surrender that strategy and be open, there is a chance you could end up with a relationship with your husband that you never dreamed you could have. We hear this all the time. I enabled him, and then finally when I forced a day of reckoning, he made a change, I made a change, and we have a marriage we never dreamed we could have. But you will never have that if you continue to treat yourself like you don't deserve anything in this world. I'm so sad. I want to help you. We'll do it after this.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, a physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, June 25th through the 27th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the 8 books in the Arterburn Wellness series, including Understanding and Loving a Person with Depression and Understanding and Loving a Person with Alcohol and Drug Addiction. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn and Beth, we are hurting for you. And Chris, you have a suggestion for her?
Well, Beth, my heart breaks because you are, as Becky was saying, you're working so hard to make this work and to make your family work the way you dreamed it to be, but your husband is not a participant. In fact, he's causing destruction. The first line of addiction, meaning the first line of defense, is denial. And so when you say no one else knows but us, you're participating in his problem. You're not helping his problem. And trying to recover him for himself will never, ever work. So the first thing that I want you to be able to do is get in an environment where you can talk about what this is doing to you, how it's affecting you, your broken heart, and your fears and your concerns, and how hard it's been, with other people that can feed back to you the truth. And the truth about who you are and how valuable you are, but the truth about how destructive your marriage is and how out of control your husband is.
Becky, final word here for Beth.
Beth, we have a Restore workshop that's just for you. I think it would be so powerful for you to be in that environment where you're not alone, that you are seen, you are heard, you are held, and you will have a plan of how to go forward for the best for your relationship. And we'll send her Intimate Deception by Sherry.
We're going to send you Intimate Deception. I think it's going to really help you. I'm going to ask everybody to pray for you for courage to do the hardest thing that you'll ever do. But I really believe it could start a healing process. Our phone number, 1-800-229-3000. We'll be in the studio for another hour and 15 minutes. Candy is calling us here from Cleveland, Ohio. Listens on Sirius XM. Hi, Candy. How are you?
Hi, fine. How are you?
Excellent. What's going on in your life today?
I'm 65 and a widow, and I was in a relationship for almost 3 years. And what happened, we went and we spent a day at the lake. And when I got back from the lake, I went to the hospital and I was tested for COVID. And when I got the COVID, I thought twice whether or not I was going to tell him or not. But then I decided, and I did, and I told him. But his attitude was so nonchalant and ugly toward me.
What
Really
can you
made me
tell us
feel
what he
like-
said that was, what did he say that was ugly? What does that mean? What did he say?
He said, I hope you'll be okay. And then he says, and I hope you didn't spread any of that to me. Never call me and tell me that, do you need anything or are you okay? And like a couple of months has went by already and he still hasn't.
Okay,
So
what's the question
I
for
was
us then?
listening to-
How could we help you?
Do you think that I would be doing the selfish manner toward him if I refuse to call him, which I haven't called him to see if he was okay, or even if he had got tested, and I told him to get tested.
Well, just as I told the final caller, I don't know of anybody who would choose the strategy that she's chosen. I would say that just about everybody I know would tell you you have received a gift from this man. Something happened that revealed the true depths of his character, and I would not be pursuing someone who abandoned me at the time of my greatest need. When I became inconvenient, they go away. I know you've invested 3 years, but it was a poor investment. Now let's go. Let's find another way to be with other people. But man, I tell you, 2 months, no contact, no support, no request after 3 years. How could I help you? That's horrible. Alice, you have a thought here?
My opinion might be different.
You know the thing about it, he's a minister.
Even better.
Candy, if this is an isolated incident,
Sounds like, where's the compassion?
if this is an isolated incident with him, I would want to get curious and find out what the extenuating circumstances might be. You're avoidant, and he might be avoidant as well. That's not a good enough explanation, but I wouldn't want to throw away 3 years if they'd been 3 good years because of one very strange interaction. But I suspect that this isn't isolated and it is a pattern, and then it would be more evidence of he's probably not going to care for you in the way that you want to be cared for. But I wouldn't wait on that avoidant tendency that you have. I think you have to confront this to find out, what does this mean?
And let me just throw in one other issue. Consistently, we tell people in your age bracket that if you've been dating somebody more than a year, and they're not asking for long-term commitment, moving toward marriage, then we wonder if this is really a healthy relationship that is ever going to produce, the kind of partnership and intimacy that's healthy and whole. And the fact that it's been 3 years, that would have been a huge red flag to me. And then that's a red flare. So you got a red flag and a red flare. And usually those are things that keep you from having to experience
the Red Death.
The Red Death, yes. Okay. So, Candy, I listen. Okay, so here you are. Listen to you. You're laughing. You're enjoying life, and I just would hate for you to be wasted on a man that doesn't appreciate who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thank you, and I listen to you guys all the time because I have you in my car, and I listen how you help so many people, and I feel kind of a little out of the way, taking time because I'm really not, crucial. Like I've heard some of the
you're crucial.
You are
other,
crucial.
People that have that's come on. It's just that your spirit will tell you one thing because I've been encountered. Be still, be still. And I've been that for the last couple of months, and still, nothing has happened. So I assume that this is a sign that God's letting me know, just continue to be still because, it's not for you to do.
Yeah. Well, I really believe that whenever we get to talk to somebody like this, God's got his hand in it, and I'm so glad that you called. I'm going to send you Healing is a Choice. I hope that'll be helpful to you in this. And let's just pray that this man, when you are not pursuing him, might decide he needed to make a change or two. Well, we're going to do another program after this. Here's the phone number, 1-800-229-3000. We would love for you to join us for that. We have a workshop coming up. We do it every month. It's called Every Man's Battle. It's online June the 12th. And then we're going to do the Restore Workshop for women June 25th, 26th, 27th in person in Dallas. Intimacy and Marriage will be in person. Washington, D.C., July 23rd through the 25th. Chris and I'll do Emotional Freedom August the 14th. We love you. We care about you. If you need help, the number is 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We really do want to help make a difference in your life. Call us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. See you next time.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.